He made bank at school. It started in 7th grade, when one kid noticed the same thing every single week. Somebody forgot their lunch, somebody's card got declined, or somebody just straight up didn't eat. And every single time, they'd beg their friends for food or snacks at the table, and their friends are like, no bro, get your own. Listen, I've been there. So this kid started a business, $5 a month, and if your lunch ever fell through, he would spot you, no questions asked. So he started carrying a backpack full of basic lunch foods, a bunch of PB&Js, chips, granola bar, juice boxes, nothing fancy, but it was food. He called this business lunch insurance. Brilliant. People laughed at him at first. Yo, this is a dumb business, dude. Oh, you think so? Just you wait. But during that first week of business, 4 kids needed this. Hey, remember when I called your idea dumb? First of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, I forgot my lunch again, and I think I'm just gonna subscribe to the service. Oh, okay. By month 2, he had 22 subscribers, and now he had tiers. Bronze tier got you a basic fix of food. Basic PB&J, basic granola bar, basic juice box. The silver tier came with kind of upgraded items. Maybe a salami sandwich, a Capri Sun instead of a basic juice box, and maybe he'd throw in a Nutter Butter or something. And gold's tier had even better items, and on top of that, hot Cheetos. He had a clipboard and a list. This guy was official. And guess what, my friends? Business was absolutely booming. Eventually, a teacher saw him divvying out snacks to people. She thought it was a black market. Well, the kid explained it. Clipboard, the tiers, lunch insurance, customer feedback. The teacher just stared at him and said, "You might be a genius, but stop with the hot Cheetos, okay? Those are banned at our school." And he did switch out the food. Instead of hot Cheetos, now he had Sun Chips, garden salsa, harvest cheddar. He was doing it right. By April, he had over 60 paying subscribers, and even a couple teachers on the list. His total revenue? $2,700. You gotta respect the hustle. So where's my daughter? Yeah, well, we got good news and bad news. This happened the second day of kindergarten. Ella is 5 years old. It's her second day ever riding the bus. The bus route ends at the daycare, and that's where her mom picks her up after work. But on this particular day, the bus pulls up. The kids get off, except for Ella. The daycare staff looks around. Wait a minute, where's Ella? They called her mom. Hi, did you keep Ella home from school today? Because she's not here. What? No, she was in the bus this morning. The mom calls the school. Where is my daughter? She didn't get off her bus today. I have no idea. They had no idea. They panic. The mom panics. 15 minutes later, the school calls the mom back. Hi, we know where she is. we know where she is. She had fallen asleep on the bus. The bus driver never checked the seats. They drove the bus back to the bus depot and locked the bus inside of the garage and left. Ella wakes up alone. On a dark, silent bus, and she's absolutely horrified, as you can imagine. There's no lights, there's no voices. She starts screaming. Finally, a mechanic hears her and runs over. She's in tears, she's shaking, she's hugging her backpack. The school apologized. The bus driver got fired, and that girl never took a nap on a bus ever again. Oh my gosh, we made our first $2. No, we actually made $1. We gotta pay the security guard. Here. In some neighborhoods, kids run lemonade stands. You know, cute little summer businesses, 50 cents a cup, smiles all around. Not on this block, though. On this block, you needed protection. Every Saturday in this one neighborhood cul-de-sac area, these kids would all set up their lemonade stands. Some were different. Some had like strawberry lemonade, others had regular lemonade, some was selling like fruit punch. You know, it was a nice little thing that the neighborhood kids were doing. Anyway, they'd be all set up and they're good to go. But then here comes this 8th grader. Bike gloves on, backpack over one shoulder. He pulls up to the first stand. Nice stand he got here. Good traffic spot, nice weather today. Would be a shame if someone knocked it over. The little girl selling lemonade just blinks. She's almost gonna cry. But then her friend says, just give him one of our dollars. Hey, it's just a protection fee, okay? Covers you for the whole day. Accidents happen, you know. Have a good one. And he goes to the next one. You guys paying for protection today? You know, kids are scrambling, they're digging in their shoebox of change. Hands over $1, he nods. Pleasure doing business with you. And just like that, he's off to the next lemonade stand. Kid made $12 in fees that Saturday alone. Now, this guy wouldn't just take the money and leave. And although he came off kind of tough and mean, he actually would stay there all day and watch over these lemonade stands. So I guess they actually were paying for protection. Now, it was a pretty nice neighborhood, so nothing ever actually happened. But, hey, you know, You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. This girl was 13 years old when this happened. Her stepmom had been in her life for 3 years, but they still weren't close. She didn't listen to her stepmom, she didn't really trust her, and she would make that clear.
I don't trust you.
I don't care.
Well, that week, her dad was overseas for a funeral. So it was just her and her stepmom. And he was gonna be there for 3 weeks. So every day, her stepmom would pick her up from school at 3. But she would always come out of school late, like 30 to 45 minutes late, which is kind of crazy and a bit annoying.
I've been waiting here for 45 minutes. This is the 3rd day in a row.
And the kid would just roll her eyes.
Get over it.
So one day, the stepmom decides she's not gonna wait. She's not gonna show up. She's gonna let her figure it out herself. So the next day, she doesn't go to the school. She stays home and then she just waits. So at 7 p.m., she finally is like, yo, I should call my stepdaughter. But she doesn't answer. So she calls the school. Hi, yes, I'm wondering, is Kayla Johnson still there? Kayla Johnson? No, she walked home at around 3:30. Oh no. Yeah, she messed up. She panics, she calls the neighbors, she calls the police. Eventually, they find her in somebody's backyard a few blocks away. What happened was she tried cutting through yards to get home. Well, one yard had a dog, and it bit her in the leg. Badly. She limped away, realized her phone was dead, so she sat down and just cried. I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have went through someone's backyard, but still, this girl's 13. Her stepmom is responsible for her. The dad caught a flight that night. Are you kidding me? You let this happen. I'm at the airport right now. I am
So done.
The daughter now has a permanent scar, and the dad left the stepmom. And like I said, the girl was 13 years old. You can't just do that. Messed up. It's 7th grade, and this kid Lucas brings a bunch of Costco gum to school. Tons of packs. Every single flavor. And he never made a big deal about it, but he would pull them out here and there so that people could see. And naturally, they would ask for a piece of gum. And when they did, 50 cents. Oh, I don't have any money right now. Oh, that's fine. Pay me later. And that was his thing. You know, at first, people were like, he's not gonna ask for that money later, you know? It's just a piece of gum. But that's where they were completely wrong. Because after he would give someone a piece of gum and say, pay me later, he would pull out a tiny notebook and write down the debt in that notebook. Everybody had a tab. Their name, their flavor, and how much they owed. But the thing is, he wanted this debt to grow. He would walk up to them. Hey, so you still owe me from last week, but I just got this crazy new watermelon flavor. You want a piece? I'll just put it on your tab. And he just kept stacking debt on top of debt on top of debt. Until finally he decided it was time to collect. He goes to the 2 biggest kids in class. Carl? Mordecai? Yeah. I'll give you 10%. Here's the list. Get me my money. And they would go around school with a list. Hey, you got Lucas's money? I'm here to collect. And these kids were big and intimidating, and people did pay him back. Lucas made like $175 before this whole thing was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. All right, boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard, big smile, and she says, okay, boys, time to log your sins for the day. This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the 2 kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him, because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session, and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all? I am right now. What? Nothing? They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. If your phone goes off in class, you might get arrested. This school had a strict no phone policy. You couldn't even have your phone on you. Not in your pocket, not in your bag, nothing. But the real rule, if a phone rang, audibly buzzed, or dinged during class, the entire room had to stand up, hands on their head, and wait. So, you see, 50 years ago, they invented broccoli. All right, stand up. They would then send in a school officer to search every single student. Pocket checks, bag checks, didn't matter. Everybody was getting searched. And if you didn't comply, or if they found your phone, incarceration may result. That's what the handbook said, meaning you might get arrested, which doesn't make sense. And I want to remind you guys, this is a real story. So one day in third period, somebody's phone rings loudly. Everybody up, hands in your heads. The officer comes in. Well, one kid isn't standing up. Stand up. Eat my shorts, idiot. Excuse me? I said eat my shorts, big man. That's it. Get up. And they arrested the kid. Yes, I know he was talking back to him, but still, I don't know where this school got off or what kind of law they were writing on, but this entire thing just doesn't seem okay. After winter break, this new girl transferred to this school. Her name was Nicole. Nicole was kind of shy. She wore the same fleece jacket every single day. And at first, during lunch every single day, she would eat in her car by herself. But after a week, one of the girls from this lunch table decided to invite her to sit with them. Hey, I saw you eating in your car during lunch. Why don't you sit with us tomorrow? All right, yeah. Thanks. So the next day comes around and she's sitting at this table. She's not talking much at all. She's just smiling politely and eating her lunch. And she sat at this table for the next few days. And every day during lunch, she would pull out this tiny folded note and she would read it to herself. Then she would smile and put it back in her lunchbox. Well, one of the girls at the table asks this. Hey, so what's with the note thing? You do it every day. And Nicole says this. Oh, well, my nanny writes me a note with my lunch and she's done that every day since I was little. Then another girl goes, isn't that like kind of embarrassing though? Like, that's super babyish. You're not in third grade anymore. Nicole's face changed. Oh, well, I mean, she does it for my little siblings too. It's just something that she's always done. It's just super weird. The next day, she was gone. Back to eating in her car. No one saw her at lunch after that day. The person that originally invited her talked to her friends. She wasn't happy. You guys are horrible for that. She's had a really rough home life and that nanny's like a mom to her and I just can't believe you. And the worst part is, her friends laughed at her for sticking up for Nicole. That's messed up.